I don't know about you, I love backcountry camping. When I'm backcountry camping, I can get lost in the middle of nowhere and always find my way out. I can live out there. I'm completely self-sufficient, and I can have fun getting in and out in a way that fits me. Now, one essential tool when I'm backcountry camping with my family is a compass. The reason I use a compass is that I can set a bearing going one direction, and then no matter how dense the forest is, no matter how lost I feel in the moment, I can take a quick glance at that compass. I can know exactly which direction I go. And what I do is I use that compass. I actually have a certain part of my backpack that I pull it out of constantly. I ask my kids sometimes, if you ever meet them, how often does dad check the compass when you're out backcountry camping or going through a forest? I check it constantly because it is so easy when you have the trees all around you and you don't see maybe the sun as much, or you don't see mountains or whatever your different landmarks that you want to use for bearings. When you get a little bit lost there, the compass is the most valuable tool you can have. Otherwise, you tend to walk in circles. Everyone tends to walk in one direction or another a little bit more than straight on if you don't have a bearing. And it's the same with business. In business, goals and affirmations, specifically goals are our compass bearing. And I've run into this a lot lately. What I've run into is a lot of people who've never thought about an exit strategy. What is an exit strategy? An exit strategy is your final goal for your business. Where do I want to take this business to? For some entrepreneurs, for some small business owners, they want to simply run things for the rest of their lives. They're always going to be involved in their business. And you know what? If that's your goal, if you want to do that until the day you die, that's fantastic. Based on your desires, on your goals, not what you think is possible, but on your goals. For some people, they're going to be selling business. I've got some clients who are serial entrepreneurs. They just want to start a business, within 3 to 5 years grow it, and then sell it off to the highest bidder, and then make money that way. Really the goal there is they just have a passion for growing businesses. There's another goal, and that could be that I want to step away from active management of my business, and I want to hire somebody in order to take care of that, so I can be on the beach in Maui and have somebody else running my business, and I'm still making money. Whatever your exit strategy is, that's not what's important. It's important to have one. What I've found is that, I don't know, I'm guessing like 1 or 2%, maybe 3% of people have an exit strategy for their business that they've actually written down. Some people have thought it. Most people have thought about it on some level. But most people have never written this down in specific detail. If you don't have it written down in specific detail, if you don't have that bearing that you're moving towards, guess what? You're going to get sidetracked in things that sound really good for a moment and actually don't add a ton of value to you or your family or your business or anything around you. They're not adding up to your goals. So, number one, make sure you have an exit strategy. And again, the purpose of an exit strategy is it's a bearing. You can always ask yourself, hey, wait a second, if I make this decision for my business, is it taking me closer or further away from that goal, that exit strategy, that what I want to move towards? Affirmations are another real interesting thing that a lot of people don't really understand. A lot of people don't talk about much. We hear about affirmations. So what an affirmation is a statement that you repeat to yourself over a period of time that makes a difference. It changes what you believe or think about. I've had fantastic success with affirmations in my own life, but I'm going to tell you what they're not. What affirmations are not are pithy statements that have some kind of magical power over us. That, at least according to Mark Friend, my belief system is that there's no magical power to these. Having said that, things that are repeated over and over with emotions, things that are repeated over and over with emotional, some kind of emotional connection for us, have a foundational and profound effect on what we believe. For example, what were you told about money when you were a kid? What were you told about relationships? What were you told about mother-in-laws? What were you told about whatever? We've got all these ideas, these belief systems in our head that things are a certain way. What were you told about, I don't know, gaining weight or your forgetfulness over the course of your lifetime? Most of us believe certain things that have next to no scientific bearing. Actually, they're not factual statements, but we've heard them so many times from so many sources that we tend to believe them. And the same thing is true with affirmations. You can start believing something even if you don't currently believe it, by repeating it to yourself a number of times. Now, affirmations, like I said, they're not magical. So if you use them once, if you say one thing to yourself, I can do wonderful things with money, or when I make a sale, I'm helping people, I'm not manipulating them. If that's something you're repeating to yourself over and over and over again, it can have an effect. If you're saying it once every 2 months, it's not going to have any effect on you, okay? So there needs to be some consistency there. Another tip is make it emotional. When you can make your goals emotional, when you look at your goals and you think about them and you go, I'm sitting on that beach, or I've got my family surrounding me, and everyone's happy. We've got time and energy to do the things that we want to do, rather than being stuck in a job for 14 hours a day, or whatever that is. When you make it emotional, when you make it very specific, what starts to happen is that starts to affect your mind. Your subconscious mind has a very difficult time telling between reality and fantasy. So the more you are able to tell your mind something over and over and over, the more it's likely to believe that. Now again, another thing that I don't want you to do with affirmations, don't be ridiculous with your affirmations, okay? So I'm 6 feet tall. If I go in front of the mirror every day and tell myself, I'm 6'5", I'm 6'5", I'm 6'5", it's not going to magically make me 6'5". Having said that, so make sure that they're tied to something in reality for you. If our minds have too much of a gap between what we want and where we are right now, our brain will just kind of dislodge it. It'll dismiss it. We won't think about it at all. Okay, we won't believe it's possible. But push yourself a little bit. So, for example, if you want to increase your sales by 50% this year, and you go, you know what, I don't know if I can do it, but is it possible? Yeah, it's possible. Now it might be an affirmation that you push yourself in. Okay, I'm so happy and grateful that I'm growing by 50% in my sales this year. Saying that over and over again will have an effect on what we believe and think. And then the next year you can push it up again. You can consistently push yourself in that way, okay? I know that this is not going into complete detail with affirmations and goals, but I wanted to cover a couple of things that often things come up with clients. They mention that these are important, and I don't always cover them in large videos or anything formats. So I just wanted to cover some of those. So again, some tips. Make sure that you do this with repetition. So again, coming back to that compass analogy, when I'm out in the backcountry in a forest, I'm looking at my compass constantly. What does that do? That keeps me focused. And really, the purpose of the affirmations and goals are to keep you focused. Meaning that if you're not doing them on a consistent basis, you're not gaining a lot of value from them. If you look at your goals once a year, around your birthday or around January 1st, and then you forget them for the rest of the year, if you don't look at them, they're not going to have an impact on you. They're not going to keep you focused. What I love about goals is that these are things that I want. These are things that I desire greatly. And if I look at them consistently, then again, when other things come up, when I'm in the middle of the forest of business and other things are crying for my attention, or it's dark, or something's confusing, or I'm starting to veer off track, I can simply look at this consistently and it'll keep me on track. If you're looking at your goals consistently, you will make better decisions in business. Why? Because when something comes along, that's a good idea, you can easily say, that doesn't work for me. It doesn't add up to my goals. And you can hold out for the best ideas in business. So many business owners, and I include myself here, really struggle to keep focused on the best ideas because we're always chasing shiny objects. We're excited about new things, so we'll try new things. When you got this compass bearing, you're going to stay on track and focused. What I'd like you to do is, when this email comes out to you, this new monthly newsletter, please interact with me a little bit. If there's a question that you have about this, or maybe a struggle that you've had, feel free to reach out to me. I'd love to interact with you, or book in a call to make sure that you are moving on the right track, okay? So feel free to interact with this and email me back if you want. Have a fantastic week.